Okay, welcome back. Back to class 5. We're going to be looking at finishing off our ratio analysis, and in this one we're just looking at the financial stability ratios that exist that we can help analyse hotels and businesses. So financial stability, sort of in the name, but we're starting to focus on our assets, our liabilities, our owner's equity. How stable is a business? And so this information all comes from the balance sheet. So you see there, financial stability. Are they a stable business, or have they borrowed too much? Now, this can also be referred to as solvency. Okay, solvency just means the ability to repay debt. So if you are solvent, you can repay your debts that you owe to the banks or to creditors. If you are insolvent, well, there's a thing called insolvency, liquidation, bankruptcy. Insolvency means you are unable to repay your debts. And so you would have to, wrap up your business and sell up. So we're going to look at two different categories under financial stability. There's going to be 3 short-term ratios that we're going to look at, and 3 long-term ratios. So the short term can help us look at how well we can pay things off in the short term. The 3 long-term ones are overall, how are they placed with the total amount of debt, total amount of assets, and how well they are placed. So for each ratio, note down, what does it mean, what's favourable, unfavourable, and what should they be aiming for. Okay, so the short-term ratios. These look at liquidity. So another little term, liquidity, just means how well things can turn into cash or become liquid. So if something is liquid is if it is cash. So we have 3. The first one is working capital. So working capital, working capital, current assets minus current liabilities. Imagine if you had to use all of your current assets and repay all of your current liabilities. This is the excess that you would have left over. So it's a dollar figure. Again, the higher the better. And we would want this to be positive, a positive figure. Now, not every business is like this, unfortunately. Sometimes they do have cash flow crises. They don't quite have enough cash in the bank to repay all their current liabilities. Also, should be noted that current assets also contains inventory. You have to sell your inventory to get cash to then be able to pay your current liabilities. So you have to make sure you can sell what you have. So this is always a cycle that managers have to look at to make sure they've got working capital. If current liabilities is more than current assets, you have what's called a working capital deficit, where it's a negative figure. This could be mismanagement or just a plan not quite in place right, where they're going to struggle to repay their current liabilities. Okay. The next one is very similar, and from last year you would know it as well. It's the current ratio. Current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. Now, these are ratios, so you're going to get a number as a result, and the number is always going to be colon to 1. So it's going to be this number to 1. So say, for example, if the result is 2 to 1, that means that for every $1 of current liabilities, you have $2 of current assets. And this is an ideal situation to be in, where you have more than 1 to 1. So 1 to 1 is probably the bare minimum, I would say. If you're lower than that, you're risking it. But 2 to 1 gives you a bit of a buffer that, yes, we've got enough current assets to repay examples there that you can work through on the PowerPoints. Hire it, having current assets, current liabilities, marry it. You can work out both and compare. Now the importance. You've got to have current assets to be able to pay current liabilities, but also pay your long-term liabilities. So it is also important to have that buffer, have that cash coming in to meet all your cash obligations. We'll do a bit more of this when we get to the end of the course, when we start to look at a cash budget. But cash is king when it comes to business survival. Okay, in the PowerPoint you've got some advantages of having good working capital. You can have good cash discounts, pay everything when they're due, have good inventory as well. Operate efficiently and provide a margin of safety so that the company doesn't fall over. Because sometimes there is a downturn in the economy. It might be called a depression or a recession. And these are common, and you've got to have that margin of safety to make sure you've got enough to pay the bills. Okay, next ratio is the quick ratio. Now the quick ratio is slightly different. Ratio, it's in the name, it sort of takes, cash, okay, so on the top line, quick ratio is looking at things a bit shorter term. So it's actually looking at the next 30 days or thereabouts. So on the top line, this is all your sources of cash that you can lay your hands on in the next 30 days. So cash, it's already cash. Any short-term investments, and then 66% of accounts receivable. Now, this is a bit of a guess, an estimate. This is the part of accounts receivable we're going to think we're going to get in the next 30 days. So for some businesses it might be higher percentage, some might be slightly lower. So it does change depending on the hotel or industry or historical data. Right, so that's the amount of cash you can lay your hands on, divided by creditors. Creditors is what you have to pay in the next 30 days. So this is your immediate obligations. So how much can you lay your hands on, how much do you have to pay in the next 30 days, and you'll get a ratio. Get a number, and hopefully it's more than 1 to 1, but sometimes it can be again lower, and again similar to the current ratio, if it is less than 1 to 1 you're going to have problems paying your immediate debts, but if the greater it is, the more stable it is for paying your immediate debts. Right, we move from short-term ratios into the 3 long-term ratios. So these just look at some long-term, how well you are placed for total assets, total liabilities. So the first one there is assets to liabilities. Okay. First one is the assets to liabilities ratio. It says simply total assets divided by total liabilities. This will give you a ratio, a number to 1. Now, hopefully, the number will be higher than 1 to 1. If it's lower than that, you're in deep trouble because your liabilities are more than your assets. This says for every $1 of total liabilities, we have this much total assets. So the higher this is, the better. So in this case, for every $1 of total liabilities, we have $2.5 of total assets. So the greater this is, the better it is. And it means the more stable you are, because you've accumulated more assets. Okay, the next one is just turning it around. ratio around. So, in this case, it's the debt to assets ratio. So this is total liabilities divided by total assets. Now this looks at the portion of that you have funded assets by borrowing money. So maybe the result comes in at this. I could rewrite it. So for every $1 of assets, we've borrowed 60 cents, or 60%. So we've borrowed 60% of all our assets. We've borrowed from the banks. So it should be less than 1 to 1. The lower this is, the better. And it should hopefully go down over time, because hopefully you're paying off your liabilities over time, or increasing your assets over time. So that just looks at sort of the source of funding for assets. The last ratio is the debt to equity ratio. Okay. The debt to equity ratio is total liabilities divided by total equity. Again, it's a ratio, you're going to come out with a number to 1. This just shows what is the source of funding in the business. Now, if it's greater than 1 to 1, it just means that they are focusing on debt financing. If it's less than 1 to 1, it means that they're using what's called equity financing. Equity financing means they borrowed more money from the owners instead. So, are they borrowing more money from the banks, which is sometimes advantageous if it's cheap money, but sometimes can be riskier if they've borrowed a lot of money. Or equity financing, are the owners putting some money into the business, and are they propping it up? So that just shows what is the source of financing. Hopefully, the lower the better, but sometimes some businesses do operate in high debt financing situations using the bank's money. Okay, so that's all the ratios for financial stability. You can now give it a try using the balance sheet. Try calculating these 6 ratios that we've looked at. We will also have a special class where we go through on Excel and actually look at how to do each of these ratios, percentage changes, dollar changes, how to do it all on Excel, and you'll be able to calculate all of them very quickly and very easily. So make sure you don't miss that, because you will need that for doing your report. Okay, so that's it for the first third of the content. We're now going to change tack, and the next class we'll be looking at is revenue management. Thanks.